Harrison Walker was an elderly and calm man who walked into a flashy car dealership only to be humiliated and ignored because of his modest appearance. Little did the staff know that, the next day, this same man would return, not as a customer, but as the dealership's new boss. The twist left the arrogant salespeople stunned and confused. As he took charge, Harrison demanded a powerful form of justice that no one could have foreseen. You won't believe how he managed to turn the situation around in a way that will leave anyone speechless. Before we continue, drop a comment sharing where you're following this story from and if it resonates with you. Oh, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more amazing stories. Harrison Walker was no ordinary man. Known for his immense wealth and humble demeanor, he had built a fortune over decades through smart investments and strategic business decisions. Despite being one of the most successful men in the state, Harrison rarely flaunted his wealth. He lived a modest life, drove a simple car, and preferred quiet evenings at home over extravagant parties. Few knew of his true riches, but Harrison was about to face a situation that would test his patience and push him to take unexpected actions. It was a cold afternoon when it all began. Harrison decided to visit a car dealership in town. His car, though still running perfectly, was nearly a decade old, and he realized it was time for an upgrade. While he preferred simplicity, Harrison knew how to appreciate quality and was interested in one of the luxury models the dealerships were advertising. When he arrived at the dealership, wearing his usual worn-out jacket and scuffed shoes, the reception he received was anything but welcoming. The dealership was bustling with activity. Salespeople in sharp suits attending to younger, flashier clients, the sound of engines revving during test drives, and the characteristic buzz of a busy afternoon. Harrison quietly stepped into the showroom, hopeful that someone would assist him. He began walking among the cars, admiring their sleek lines and polished exteriors, but after 20 minutes of browsing, it became clear that no one was going to approach him. The staff had noticed him. A few employees even cast disdainful glances his way but continued fawning over customers who, apparently, seemed more likely to make a purchase. One young salesman, with carefully slicked back hair, even made eye contact with Harrison but quickly looked away, choosing instead to assist a well-dressed couple who had just walked in. At first, Harrison remained patient. He stopped beside a luxury sedan that had caught his eye, running his hand over the vehicle's smooth surface while waiting for someone to offer help. However, as time passed, he began to feel increasingly humiliated. The whispers among the staff, the cold stares, and the blatant disregard struck him deeply. It wasn't just the lack of service that bothered him, but the realization that he had been judged solely based on his appearance. To them, he was just an old man who didn't seem to belong in a place like this. As the minutes passed, Harrison's patience began to wear thin. He decided to approach the main desk, where 3 salesmen were chatting animatedly. "Excuse me," he said politely. "I'm interested in purchasing one of your vehicles. Could someone assist me?" The man behind the counter didn't even look up. "We're a bit busy at the moment," he replied dismissively. "Why don't you come back later?" Harrison's expression didn't change, but something inside him did. He gave a slight nod, turned around, and walked out, his heart heavy with a mix of frustration and anger. As he made his way to the exit, he overheard one of the salesmen chuckling quietly and muttering something about wasting time on window shoppers. What the staff didn't realize was that Harrison Walker was not a man to be underestimated. The humiliation he felt that day would not be easily forgotten. As he got into his old car, he made a silent decision. This wasn't going to end there. The next morning, Harrison returned to the dealership, but this time he wasn't there as a customer. The night before, he had made a few phone calls to his influential contacts in the business world. Within hours, he had gained enough leverage to purchase the entire car dealership. Now, Harrison was no longer interested in buying a car. He was interested in owning the entire operation. When he stepped out of his car and walked into the showroom, the same staff who had ignored him the previous day were still there, completely unaware of what was about to happen. The general manager, a middle-aged man named Tom, approached him this time with a forced smile. "Good morning, sir. How can we assist you today?" he asked, clearly clueless about what was coming. Harrison handed Tom a set of papers, his expression remaining calm. "I'm not here to buy a car," he said, watching as Tom's face changed while reading the documents. "I'm here as your new boss." Tom turned pale. His hands trembled as he grasped the significance of the papers he was holding. Harrison Walker had purchased the dealership overnight. A murmur began to ripple through the showroom as the other employees, once so self-assured, noticed the sudden turn of events. The salespeople who had laughed at him the day before now looked confused and worried. Harrison remained composed, but his voice carried a calm, undeniable authority as he addressed everyone in the room. "Yesterday, I came here intending to buy a car," he began. "But instead of being treated with respect, I was ignored, dismissed, and judged based on my appearance. Every one of you made assumptions about me without knowing anything about who I am or what I'm capable of." The staff exchanged nervous glances. The confident smiles they had worn the day before had completely vanished. "From today, I am the owner of this dealership," Harrison continued firmly. "And things are about to change, starting with the people who work here." He turned to Tom, who was now sweating profusely. "Tom, you're fired. And anyone else who treated me or any other customer with the same level of disrespect will be out as well." A stunned silence filled the room. No one had expected this outcome. The man they had ignored and ridiculed the day before was now their boss, and he wasn't wasting any time making changes. One by one, Harrison began taking steps to transform the workplace, making it clear that respect and professionalism would be the new standard. Harrison started calling out the names of employees he had observed the previous day. Those who had contributed to the dealership's toxic culture were fired, while those who had shown kindness and respect, regardless of appearances, were spared, and some were even promoted to new leadership roles. By the end of the day, nearly half the staff had been replaced with new hires who shared the values of respect and exemplary customer service that Harrison wanted to establish. In a matter of hours, Harrison completely transformed the dealership. News of the new management spread quickly. The place, once known for its disdain and arrogance, became a model of excellent service and integrity. All of this happened thanks to one man's determination to stand by his principles. When Harrison left the dealership, now fully under his control, he felt a deep sense of justice. He didn't need to flaunt his wealth or demand respect. He earned it through his actions, and in the process, he taught the staff a valuable lesson in humility and kindness. The same people who had judged him were now unemployed, while the dealership thrived under his leadership. Harrison Walker was not an ordinary man, and he had just proven that to the world. This story of humiliation, resilience, and unexpected revenge revealed how a man's modest appearance can lead others to underestimate him. In the end, Harrison didn't just buy the dealership that had ignored him. He transformed it into a place where every customer is treated with respect, regardless of their appearance. A powerful lesson that appearances can be deceiving and that you never know who might be walking through your door. If you like the story, please leave a like and check out the video showing on the screen now. I'm sure it will move you too. Enjoy the session, and see you in the next video.